this young lady came on board and she talked about being non-negotiable. Did you guys write that down in your notes when she was with us? Non-negotiable on August 17th. She was so amazing. Mr. Dean Trolley been talking about her and everything else. I said, we got to get on the call. She did, the co-founders went down to her part of the country there in Texas, and she had a big group there. And I tell you what, she is an amazing leader. We're glad to have her back today. She, when she talked about that, she has a locksmith business, been down the Tech Series for, I think it was 14 plus years, down in San Antonio area, packed the place out. Without further ado, Regional Director, Roxann Corralejo. Can we give her a hand?
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. I really appreciate that introduction. And you said my last name perfectly again. I love it. So again, everybody, my name is Roxann Corralejo, or Corralejo, however you want to pronounce it. And I do live here in San Antonio. First thing I want to do is give it back to Mr. L. Thomas. These calls are phenomenal. You guys have such a phenomenal leader. And I like to plug our organizations with Mr. Trolley, my team, everybody into these calls because they're so great. It's something different that we get from a lot of the other calls that we participate on, and being a part of these calls is what's actually helped me get to where I am today. I've been able to plug in, and I was aware of these calls earlier this year, and kind of making it a routine has definitely helped me get to where I'm at. So thank you so much, Mr. Thomas, for all that you do and the opportunity to be here and share my story with you guys. So just real quickly, I want to backtrack. So we were able to have this amazing event that we had here in San Antonio, but how did that happen? I was able to share this with a few of you guys last time, but just to kind of let everybody else know, most of y'all don't know me, and it's just because I haven't been around the circuit as long as a lot of other people on this call have, but it's just because of the activity that we've had over this last year where we were able to have this great event. So how did that happen? I mentioned last calls to become non-negotiable. That's where I was. So I kind of want to steal this from Jocelyn Driscoll, but I'm just a girl. You hear her say that all the time, but in reality, that's the truth of it. I'm just a girl, regional director, been part of ACN 3.5 years. I did not set any records. I have not set any records in any way whatsoever. But how are we able to get a co-owner, a co-founder of $1 billion company to San Antonio? It's because of the steps I talked about last time as being non-negotiable. I had a goal to hit and said, you get to meet Mr. Tony Kupis if you hit this goal. There were no promises other than meeting him face to face. Hi, my name is Roxann, and that was it. So I said, you know what? I don't care what is happening. I will not sleep if I have to not sleep just to make sure I make this event and face to face meet Mr. Tony Kupis. And that's what happened. And aside from being non-negotiable, I also needed to rearrange my life. So that's one thing that we need to do is rearrange our life for ACN. So what happened that weekend, I didn't share this last time, is that I live in Texas. I have family out in California. I had someone I grew up with in straight from middle school, actually. She lives here in Texas with me. She was having her daughter's birthday party and graduation party, same day of event. So I said, I can figure this out. I got to make my way to Ventura County, to Laguna Beach, to Cerritos, all in one day. We're going to figure this out. So I was going to hit the event in Cerritos in the morning, the graduation party in the afternoon, and then the meet and greet with Tony Kupis in the evening. I had it all planned. And then wouldn't you know it, everything fell apart day of. I'm at the event. I had a ride. I didn't have a ride to the graduation party. I couldn't get there. I jumped in the car with Mr. Dean Trolley, and I said, I don't know what you're doing in between. My apologies. My dog's getting excited too. I said, I don't know what you're doing in between, but I'm tagging along with you to Laguna because I don't have a ride anymore. So I had to miss my niece. I call her my niece because I grew up with my best friend. I had to miss her birthday party and her graduation. That was huge. That's family. But I said, you know what? I worked so hard to do this. It's just what has to get done. I called, I made my apologies, and that's what happened. I had to rearrange my life. Things fell apart and I didn't get to be there for her. But I called her. She was understanding. It was okay. So I'm at this event with Mr. Tony Kupis. And the third thing I want to talk about, I said I was non-negotiable. I had to rearrange my life. But then the third thing is I had to speak up. That's one thing that we have to do here in ACN is we can't be afraid to ask. Whether we're asking for a customer, whether we're asking for a rep, or whether we're asking a co-founder to come do an event in your home city. Just don't be afraid to open your mouth and ask. So that's what happened. I asked that question. I said, hey, what would it take to get you to San Antonio? Now, again, like I said, I'm just a girl. I'm not a VP. He's typically going around to all the senior vice president's marketplaces, the regional vice president marketplaces. Why would he be here in San Antonio? Why would he come to this event? But it's because I asked. He said, you know what? Fill a room, put 100 people in a room and I will be there. And I said, done. No hesitation. I did not have anybody on the list. Nobody else knew about this but me. So I said, done, no matter what. We were non-negotiable, and the group did this, the team did this. And it wasn't just my organization. We had several organizations here, not only in San Antonio, just in South Texas and Texas in general, plugging in. I had people flying out from Florida. The Killeen Marketplace, man, they are so phenomenal out there. They brought 33 people, drove up from Killeen to San Antonio for this event. So it was ACN collectively that made this possible. It wasn't just our organization. We did not put 100 people in a room, but it was just ACN supporting not only us, but being there for an event. Everybody just so excited to be there because the events weren't happening. And this was one of the first to kick off. So now getting to the event, that is stressful beyond belief. If you've never put something like this together, like myself, I didn't know what I needed. I didn't know anywhere from the screens to the projector to the place, what size we needed, how many people to expect. We sold tickets, but I really did not know. I had other people that have put on events that I was leaning on, people that I was asking questions to, people that weren't part of my organization, but they were so willing to help me out and put this together. And it was just such a phenomenal feeling to know that I had backup. In my traditional business, if something happens, I have to figure it out on my own. ACN, everybody was pouring into me and saying, okay, who can I invite to San Antonio? They were trying to get people to fill this event for me because I told Tony Kupis, I'm making it happen. So now we're at the event and everything is running phenomenal. We have 5 regional vice presidents that show up to this San Antonio event. So I'm stoked beyond belief because it's not now. We have regional vice presidents to pour into these people. We have Tony Kupis. We have Mr. Dean Trolley. We have Kenneth Kerr. We have so many people part of ACN that were plugging into this, which was just great. And I had people come up to me that have hosted events pre-COVID and say, wow, you did such a phenomenal job. We had a red carpet. We had everything down to the T was just organized perfectly to make it look and just feel like a welcoming, just I want to say like a gold event. That was just my mentality in it. I want to be red carpet. I want everybody to feel special at this event because this is some people's first time to any sort of ACN event. So I was making that impression on a lot of people because they had joined during COVID and just haven't been to a physical event. So we had this great, phenomenal event. And to hear this from other regional vice, wow, you just set the bar. And I'm like, man, that's phenomenal. I didn't even realize it. I was just trying to mimic what everyone else was doing. And to get that feedback, it was not only great for me, but great for the team too, to see that. Just everybody part of the organization to see what we had put together collectively. So now we go after the event, which was so great. Mr. Kupis took the time to hang out with the team. And that's really what I was looking forward to. Everybody had that opportunity to meet with him. But he made it a point with Mr. Trolley to meet with people who wanted to meet up. We hung out at a spot. Whoever came, and they had that one-on-one attention with them. So that is what really solidified a lot of that, is to be able to have leaders like we have. Mr. Tony Kupis didn't have to do that. He didn't have to come to San Antonio to start with, but he did. He didn't have to take that time and sit with the team, answer all their questions. I'm pretty sure a majority of the questions were exactly the same, but he was a good sport. They had a great time, and I kind of hung off in the background. I said, no, this is the team's time. I had my time out in California. Now let's let them do it. And now what that does, you guys, is it builds that belief. So these events aren't just to go and to hang out. It's to hear from these leaders. It's to ask them questions. And so I let the team, and I said, hey, you get to hear from me all the time. Now go ahead and ask them questions, take pictures with them, get to know them, how they handle objections, because they've heard it from me plenty of times. So that's what the team was able to do, is have that one-on-one with the owner who started all this and ask them questions. It blew my mind, some of the objections and stuff that they were asking, and he was just there to answer them for them. So now fast forward, that is the day of the event. Now after the event, what has happened? So this is exactly what Mr. Thomas wanted me to share is after an event like that, what happens with the team? Well, then with the team, it builds that belief, especially part of the team that has not seen these events, they're like, wait a minute, this is something that can happen. And the fact that it was our very, very first event at 100 people, what's going to happen after that's, we only get one first. So all the things we were talking about and going through and the stress, that only is going to happen once. The second time and the third time and the fourth time are going to be so much easier. So what did we do? We scheduled an event already to promote into. So at our event, we already announced our next event is October 9th. It is the 8th and the 9th, 8th for leadership, the 9th. We had already had that planned and we announced it to the group. They are beyond stoked to see what the second event is going to look like. But not only that, how many people jumped on board that day of and bought tickets. So we had 100 tickets sold by the day of the event. 100 tickets already. Our goal was 100 for this one. Now we already have 100 tickets sold. That is just crazy and beyond belief to even think about. And I had people in other states message me after that event, after seeing pictures and say, hey, I want 10 tickets. I want 10 tickets. I don't have anybody out there yet, but I'm getting them. I'm going to be non-negotiable. I'm going to make sure I get them there. I'm going to fly out to San Antonio. And that is such a great feeling to know that people are plugging in, because San Antonio is a large city. If you guys haven't been to San Antonio, know about it. It's like one of the top 10 largest city in the US. It is huge. And the fact that an owner has not made it to San Antonio yet is beyond my belief. Why now? It's because we are all moving together. We all have that momentum. We all have that excitement. We all have that same vision. And all that came from an event. So now after that, Mr. Koopa said this was just, it was phenomenal. He didn't know what to expect. He's asking someone that's been in the business 3.5 years to put on an event. He had no idea what to expect, what it was going to look like. And he leaned over and said, you know what? We are adding San Antonio to the corporate routine, to the corporate list of places to visit, all because of opening my mouth. So you guys, what I want to lead in with that is it doesn't matter. Just open your mouth. This came from because I wasn't scared to ask. Who are you scared to ask? Mr. Douglas Soto calls it his chicken list. Who is on your chicken list? Who are you scared to ask this opportunity to come see what we have, to come to an event? We have so many events that are happening nationally now. And I'm talking to people. People are adding me like crazy on Facebook. And I asked them, hey, you had an event in your backyard. How was it? Oh, well, I wasn't able to go. And I'm like, wait a minute, what do you mean you weren't able to go? I know people that flew into your city to go to that event. I knew people that flew into San Antonio for an event and it was right in your backyard. Oh, well, you know, life happens, this comes up, that comes up. And I get that. I get that happens for a lot of people. But if you want to be successful in this business, you have to rearrange your life. Those things that it's okay. Sometimes you have to ask for an apology. I had to ask for an apology. My friend was not happy with me. She was so upset. She didn't want to talk to me about a week after because I missed her daughter's graduation, because she saw me. What she saw is me hanging out with friends, because of course we had a great time with Mr. Koopas. We had a great time. We had dinner. We're riding in his Ferrari. It was a great time, but I was there for work. I wanted to make sure I did not leave without asking him to come and see the team. And because I wasn't scared, that is why we have what's happening today. That belief that everyone has now. Now it's just me, because I've been into a national training. I've seen it. I have that belief. I wanted the people that haven't to be able to see something like that. Now we're having these national trainings and people are missing them. Why? Because things are coming up. We are not going to be able to grow this strictly over Zoom. We have to mingle the two. Something is happening here in ACN. I see something big and I hear it from a lot of people, the regional vice presidents, the senior vice presidents, the co-founder. They know something is happening and I'm like, man, I don't know what it is yet, but I want to make sure I'm in momentum. We have to make sure that we're there and we're ready for what's about to happen. And going to these events is what's going to do it. We have to be there. And so it boggles my mind. If you have an event in your city, schedule out half a day. For some of these events, they're only half a day. Just go to it. Make sure you have 20 people with you. Make it non-negotiable. Pick up people with you, because this is what builds belief. And this is what people are going to say, you know what? I know I've been telling you maybe for the past 2 months, I'm in. I see it now. I see it and I'm in. And that's what happened at this event. People saw it. They saw what was going to happen. You let them know, hey, this is the first time after COVID that we're having an event in this city, because most likely it will be. If that's the first time and we pack out a room with 100, sometimes I see some of these events, 200, 300 people. Imagine what the third event's going to look like, the fifth event's going to look like. As we continue to grow, we continue to multiply, more people are going to fill in. And you ask them, hey, what if you were here at the very first event, you locked in your position, and now half the room is yours? Half of the room is part of your organization. We are at such a great opportunity that can happen for everybody. Just because I kind of feel like this is a reset with ACN. I haven't been around ACN to know that long enough, but I feel like it's a reset with all these events that everybody, it doesn't matter if you're an IBO, if you're an ETL, if you're a regional director, everybody has the opportunity to pack out over 100 people in a room and be able to create something significant. So I definitely want to make sure you guys got the gist of what, nobody special, nobody big, did not create any sort, break any records. I just opened my mouth. We were able to put this together. We as a team collectively, ACN plugging into this event. And now we're on the map for corporate, which I'm super excited about. It's about time for San Antonio, but it makes me a little nervous because I know a lot of people are plugging in. So I'm telling my team, you guys, you better hurry up before someone else talks to your cousin, your dad, your sister, your brother, because it's going to happen, because we're getting a lot of traction out of this. So thank you, Mr. Thomas. I appreciate the opportunity to share what has happened. Literally within the last couple months, it has just been so phenomenal, and the love and the support that I've gotten from everybody is just the icing on the cake. So thank you, and I appreciate you and all that you do.
Wow, wow, wow. Let me reiterate, her first call was with us on August 17th, and she talked about being non-negotiable. I want that to sink in for a second. She's non-negotiable. Are you? She said you have to and she also said this on the 17th as well, if you guys remember, but I got it in my notes. She said she had to rearrange her life. Why do we put that JOB, or if she's self-employed, why do we think that's more important than having something that can really retire us quicker and faster? Your 401k is down to a K. Have you noticed? The retirement fund, there's no such thing as retirement fund. They're going away. That little pension you think you got, trust me, they're stealing it as we speak. So what's your backup plan when you get over a certain age, you can't work? What are you going to do? Social insecurity is going to be gone, they said, by year 2031. Matter of fact, they sliced the year off, now it's 2030 because of all this printing of money. What are you going to do then? This is the best time to go all in, as they say in poker, all in. Be non-negotiable, rearrange your life for your business. And the third thing she said that was very powerful, just ask. Duh, it's so funny. Just ask. Why are we so afraid to ask? That's, wow, I loved it. Ms. Tony Cooper said, can you fill a room with 100 people? She said, yep. Here in Colina area of Texas, brought 33 people that drove down. I'm having flashbacks when I first started network marketing. I had the gall, the tenacity to do exactly what she's doing. And I'm telling you what, it works. She had 5 regional vice presidents come show up, and she's kind of give you a little attitude. Just a little old me, Roxann, you know, Corralejo, I'm just the regional director. No, she did something very powerful that any of you could do. They'll say, go set yourself on fire and come out and watch it burn. She set herself on fire, and they came from all over the area, flew in from where? Florida. Mr. Dean Torelli came in from California. I mean, it was an amazing event. Miss Johnson Driscoll, I think, did the 1 through 10. But more important than that, listen, folks, she's a rock star. What about you? When are you going to stand up to plate and really let your goodness come out of you? When are you going to say, I'm not going to take, eat your spinach like Popeye said, I'm not going to take it anymore, and go for it?
Mr. Thomas, before we get to the questions, I did have a video I forgot to share with
you
guys.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Go ahead, dear. It's a video of the event, and we'll get back to the questions. But I want to share that just so that you guys can see. And I'm not tech savvy whatsoever. I work with my hands, so it comes out a little blurry, and hopefully you guys can hear it and see it. But I'm going to attempt that real quickly. Let's see if I can get this going.
With that said, the phone line's open for there's 3 questions real quick. There's 3 questions.
Mr. Al Thomas, it's Ray Caldwell. I'd like to ask Roxann a question because I know a little bit about what's going on with the planning. So Rachel Garcia and I are teammates, and we're on the Empire also with Roxann. And so we've kind of been following the whole story, and we're excited because we've caught that vision. We want to do the same thing. And so Roxann, the other day, you know, on Instagram, Ryan Ruiz, your co-partner in crime, made this incredible statement. Do you want to share that with everyone? What is your ultimate goal?
Was that his statement? What is your ultimate goal? I didn't get to see it.
Oh, so he said 20,000 people. Are you on board for that?
Oh my goodness. Okay. So yes, that was the question I asked him. We had the event at the convention center, and I asked him in front of everybody this time, because before it wasn't. And I asked him, I said, okay, what would it take now to get a ACN convention out here? Because we can definitely, the convention center can house 20,000 people. So what would it take to have an international now here in San Antonio? And he said, why do you need an international in San Antonio? You fill a room with 20,000 people. So that's my next definite goal that Mr. Kupis threw at me. So I kind of bit that one. I had that one coming to me. So absolutely, he said for me to do it. So I have to do it. It's going to take a little bit longer than 6 weeks to prepare for that one. But yes, absolutely. It's a goal and something that he told me to do. So I got to get it done.
You know, one of the blessings, what you notice, it's a stair step. Like you said, you did 100. Now you got 125 registered for the next one, then 300, then 500, then 2,000. And before you know it, you will be 20,000. That's how exactly you get there, dear. Exactly. God bless you. Thank you.